You're listening to Mammal Watching with Charles Foley and John Hall. You can find other episodes at mammalwatching.com/podcast.
Normally speaking, the rains come from the south and they go further north as the rainy season develops. They go from south to north. So usually the wildlife will move from south to north following the rains as they go north and the developing grazing. In 1974, what happened, the rains started in the north better than they did in the south. And so the animals went directly north. They didn't move slowly. They went directly to the north. Now, the addax that were sitting further north still of the rains all came south. And that's when on one memorable day, I saw more than 1,000 oryx and more than 200 addax in one single area, one basin, one huge basin that was full of the most wonderful young vegetation. It hasn't been touched by anybody other than wildlife. And the wildlife had all congregated in that area. Everything was in there, Dama gazelles, Dorcas gazelles. We even found one damalisk, one topee. The wildlife was literally uncountable. I got to about 1,000 scimitar oryx and then gave up. Things were moving around backwards and forwards. We weren't disturbing them at all because we just happened to come over the right rim to the south of this basin. And then with the binoculars, it was all there. I mean, it was just like something out of, I don't know, Serengeti in the Sahara. When you're bringing scimitar and oryx back, you're bringing back the children of Chad. You're bringing back part of Chad's heritage. The prodigal son that they lost 60 years ago, 50 years ago, is back home again, and that has a lot of power as a communications message in Chad. We've had a lot of support from Chadians for the scimitar and oryx. It's an iconic species. It's iconic largely because it was very prominent in wildlife lore and culture because of its huntability, but it's also it's an indicator species for a lot of people. A lot of the nomadic pastoralist people see it as an indicator species of environmental health and the bounty of the good Lord. If there wasn't wildlife in the desert, why would the good Lord bring rainfall? And that is very much part of the philosophy that people talk about. So this is wildlife acting as an ambassador for itself almost.
If you'd like to listen to the full episode, then visit mammalwatching.com/podcast.